All right, so we're going to talk about how to write your systems of inequalities. So we're going to use word problems here, and I will be completely honest with y'all. So we're going to read through the word problems and we're going to create our equations. And then I am going to go into Desmos and I'm going to type those equations and I am going to just use our intercepts for the most part to do my graph. And then after I do a couple of those, I'm not even going to actually physically draw the graph on our note paper. We would just be going into Desmos to do that and utilize that. So let me stop real quick and pull up Desmos so that when I get there, you can see that. All right, remember that you do always want to use the NC Test Desmos. Okay, so we'll get there, like I said, here shortly. Okay, all right, so here we go. Reading the first problem. All right, so we're going to read through it and just see what we're talking about to begin with. Remember, we do need to identify our variables and so forth. So we'll talk about that. All right. Suppose you buy flour and cornmeal in bulk to make flour tortillas and corn tortillas. Flour costs $1.50 per pound, and cornmeal costs $2.50 per pound. And you want to spend less than $25 on flour and cornmeal, but you need at least 6 pounds altogether. Okay. So let's just talk first about our money equation. Okay. So we've got, first of all, we've got X, and X is going to be our flour and Y is going to be our cornmeal. We do need to make sure that we identify those so that whenever we get done, we know which is what's representing what. Okay. All right. So reading through here, we've got flour is $1.50 per pound. So that's $1.50 X. Cornmeal is $2.50 per pound. So plus $2.50 Y. All right. So that's our initial. And that we've done that before with regular word problems, system of equation word problems. Now, but right here is important. You want to spend less than $25. Okay, so less than 25 does not include 25. We want that to be less than $25. Okay, so that's our first equation. All right, now our second equation, we're going to keep reading. It says you need at least 6 pounds altogether. So think about it if I say you have at least $5, does that mean you have less than $5 or can you have more than $5? So at least is your bottom line. And so if it says at least 6 pounds altogether, then that means together when we add them, we want that to be greater than or equal to 6. Okay, at least 6 does include 6, so that's why it's equal to, but less than 25 does not include 25. Okay, so that's why it does not have an equal to sign there. All right, so here's what I'm saying. I'm going to shift over real quick to Desmos. Okay, and I'm going to type these in. Remember, you can't use anything but X and Y in Desmos, so that's why. And to get your to get to my, here we go. Okay, sorry, had to figure out how to get to my keyboard over here. All right, to get my less than sign, you can use your keyboard or this. All right, and that's $25. Okay, so there's our first one. Zoom out a little bit so we can see it. All right, and then my second one was X plus Y is greater than or equal to 6. Okay, so remember we talked already just yesterday about our shading. So if you notice on your graph, and I'm going to try to kind of put these together on this page, it's only worried about this first quadrant over here. So literally I can move this around because we're only worried about this quadrant right here, quadrant number 1. All right, so I want to know what are these points. And those are the ones that I'm going to graph the best I can on my graph over here. Okay, so 0, 10, is there. And give me a second, I'll put the graph up there, and then that one goes down to somewhere between 16 and 17 and 0. Okay, now I did have to count by twos on the bottom, and I will show y'all that here in a minute. Okay, and then this one is 0, 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 6, 0. So 2, 4, 6. All right, so that's a solid line, and this one's a dotted line. All right, and you notice our shading for our answer was in fact in the middle between those. Okay, so again, give me just a second. I'll go back to my screen so you can see what we're doing. All right, so I have graphed those 4 points. Okay, so the answer is somewhere in here. So when it says write two possible solutions, y'all, the solutions are any ordered pair that falls in our shading. So literally any of these, it could be in a, these make sure we're holding up. Any of these ordered pairs that are in here could be a possible solution. Okay, so we're not going to list them all because we could be here forever. So we're just going to list a couple. So let's choose this one right here. That is, remember I went by twos on the bottom. So 2, 4, 6, and then 1, 2, 3. So that would be 6 flour and 3 cornmeal. Okay, or we could have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 and 1. 10 flour and 1 cornmeal. Okay, so there's unlimited possibilities in there. That's just a couple. So if those weren't the two you chose or whatever, that's fine. But those two are possibilities. Okay. All right. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another one where we do everything and then we graph. And then after that, we're just going to be writing them and then we're going to graph in Desmos and just look and see what our answers could be. Okay. Instead of having to graph it physically on the graph because you won't have to physically graph on your EOC. All right. A seafood restaurant owner ordered perch and salmon. Okay, so we've got X is going to be our perch and Y is going to be our salmon. All right, perch is $4 per pound. So that's going to be 4X. And salmon is $3 per pound. So that's 3Y. And he wants to buy at least 50 pounds. So 4 for perch, 3 for salmon. And at least means no less than. So you want it to be greater than or equal to 50 pounds. $50 does not go there. Sorry. Okay, but cannot spend more than $240. So that needs to be, let me rewrite that all together, y'all. My bad. Didn't read the whole problem. 4X plus 3Y. So that's our money. And he wants to spend no more than 240. So that's going to be less than or equal to 240. So we can't go over 240. All right. And then the pounds is our, at least 50 pounds means that X plus Y has to be greater than or equal to 50 pounds. Okay. So again, jump over here into your Desmos and let's graph it and see what we have. All right, so we've got 4, 3, and 240. So 4X plus 3Y is less than or equal to 240. And then X plus Y is greater than or equal to 50. All right, so y'all, we can't really see what we need yet. So I'm going to zoom out some. Okay, and again, these points are going to be kind of difficult to graph because of our scaling. Okay, but I am going to show you. All right, so here's what we got. Was that 60? All right, we're going to go by fives on both the left side and the right side. Okay, so let me start with the top one. So it's going to be 80. So 80 would even be off the chart if I went by fives, but that's okay. And then that's going to go down to 60. 5, 10, 15. Okay, and that's going to be a solid line. All right, and then the other one was 0 and 50. And 50 and 0. Okay, so that's like so. Okay, and our shading again was between the two of them. So I'm going to jump back over here to my graph. that I drew on our paper. And you'll see how my graph looks very similar to their graph. Okay, so y'all literally click inside. I'm going to turn these off real quick so I don't have a bunch of points floating around. Okay, so I can click like right here. Okay, this little one right here inside of here. And if you aren't sure, let's try it. Like, let's pick one. Let's pick a point. Let's say we pick like 20 and 15. That's not in my shading. 20 and 45 is. See how that dot lies in my shading? Okay, so that's a way that you can figure that out if you're having trouble. Like I said on here, you can zoom, count, whatever makes it easier for you, but you do need to make sure that you are in that shaded area, okay? All right, so let's go back to here. So again, we said a couple of options were, I went by fives, so let's just pick any of these will work. Let's pick this one. So that's 10 and 55, I believe. So 10 perch and 55 salmon. Okay, or we can pick one down here. So that's 45 and 10. So 45 perch and 10 salmon. Tons of options, y'all. Okay, unlimited in here. Well, it is kind of limited because we do want obviously whole numbers. Okay. All right, so from here on out, we're not going to worry about these graphs over here. We'll just look at that graph on our Desmos and go from there, okay? All right. The We Sell CDs website plans to purchase ads in a local newspaper and advertise their site. Their operating budget will allow them to spend at most $3,000, so that's important, at most $3,000 on this advertising adventure. An ad will cost $30 to appear, so that's another money. So an ad, so $30 is the weekday and $50 is the weekend. Okay, so X is going to be our weekday and Y is going to be our weekend. Okay, so we've already talked 30X, 30 was weekday, plus 50Y, and that most 3,000 means less than or equal to 3,000. They plan to run at least 20 ads. So weekday plus weekend has to be greater than or equal to 20. All right, so again, ignoring this over here, we're just going to go jump into Desmos and graph our two. Creating your inequalities is key. If you don't create your inequalities correctly, then obviously you're not going to have the right answers. Let me go back to here. X out of these three. Okay, so we've got 30X plus 50Y is less than or equal to 3,000. Oh, okay, and then we've got X plus Y is greater than or equal to 20. Okay, so here we are. All right, zoom around. Remember, we only want this first quadrant. So we're going to zoom out. Okay, so it's right in here. Okay, as everybody sees, so this is the only part they care about is in here. Okay, so right in here. All right. Okay, so let's pick a point such as, I'm going to pick this one right here. So that would be 20 and 20. That would work. So that's a possible point is 20 weekday and 20 weekend. Okay. Let's go to like here. So remember, this is all, you got to pay attention to your scale because this is by 5, 10, 15, 20, and 5, 10. So right here would be 10. weekday and 15 weekend. Okay, or we could go over here and we could have right here, we could have 50 weekday and 20 weekend. Okay, there's so much you can have, y'all, that meets the criteria. Okay, so that's what we're worried with there. All right, so let me go back. Again, you're just making your solutions once you graph, ignoring the graph for now. Okay. All right, let's look at the next ones. Okay. Mary knits scarves and sweaters to sell. Scarves take 2 hours to knit and sweaters take 10 hours. So we've got 2 hours for scarves and sweaters are 10 hours. She'd like to spend no more than 40 hours. Okay, so 2 for scarves, which is going to be our X, and 10 for sweaters, which is going to be our Y. And she wants to spend no more, so that means less than or equal to 40 hours. At least 5 items per week. So at least 5 means that X plus Y we want to be greater than or equal to 5. Okay, jump back. Okay, so here we are. Say right here, that's going to be 5 and 2 over 5 up 2 right here. We could have 8 and 1. Okay, any of those. So 5 scarves, 2 sweaters, 8 scarves, 1 sweater, okay, and so forth. Tons and tons of options. All right. Oops, wrong thing to pick. Okay, so there we are. All right, number 5. Clothing stores going out of business sell. They're selling pants for $8.99 and shirts for $3.99. Okay, so there's our money. Pants are $8.99. Shirts are $3.99, and you can spend as much as $60. So as much as means no more than. So $8.99 for pants plus $3.99 for shirts. Oops, that's my Y. Sorry, and that can't be as much as 60 means less than or equal to 60. And it says you want to buy at least 2 pairs of pants. So that's just pants. At least 2 pairs of pants. So that means more, 2 or more. So that means that X, which is our pants, has to be greater than or equal to 2. Okay. All right, so let's go look at our graph. Okay, so here we are. So here's our little shaded area right here, this little triangle. Okay, so let's just pick one, right? Let's pick this one right here. So that's, let me zoom. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 3 and 5 works. So that's 3 pants and 5 shirts. Or you can come down here and it could be 5 and 1. So 5 pants and one shirt. Okay. Again, unlimited possibilities. Just pick one that you like. Okay. All right. Number 6. Not many of these because they do take a little bit of time. All right. You'd like to see how many baseball and soccer games you can attend this spring. Travel time for baseball games is 2 hours and soccer games is 1 hour. You'd like to spend no more than 15 hours traveling. So here we go. 2 hours for baseball. Soccer is 1 hour. No more than 15 hours. Okay, so that's going to be 2 hours for baseball, 1 hour for soccer, and we want to be less than or equal to 15. And I don't know why I don't have 2 lines here, but you want to attend at least 8 games. So your soccer or your baseball plus your soccer wants to be greater than or equal to 8. Okay. All right. So now let's graph these and see what we got because we got some questions it wants us to answer here, and we'll get to those in a second. Let's just graph what we've got and see how it looks. 2x plus y is less than or equal to 15. And then x plus y is greater than or equal to 8. Okay, so here we are. So we're up here in this little shaded region right here. Okay, so make sure we can see that's the quadrant that we're looking at right here because you can't have obviously a negative number of games. Okay, so now let's go back and see what it's asking. All right, suppose we decide on attending 4 baseball games. So remember, baseball, let me make sure, baseball was our x and soccer was our Y. All right, so it says you have decided you're going to attend 4 baseball games. All right, so baseball is X. So we're going to go over here to 4. Okay, so then we can attend 4, 5, 6, or 7. 4, 5, 6, or 7 soccer games before we are out of our shaded region. So we can attend anywhere between 4 and 7 soccer games. All right. The next question asks, everybody with me, so between 4 and 7. All right. The next one says we decided to attend 9 soccer games. What is your range of baseball games? So 9 is our soccer, so that's right here. Okay, this is our 9. So we could go 0, 1, 2, or 3. So from 0 to 3 baseball games. Is it possible to attend 6 baseball games and 4 soccer games? Well, baseball would be 6, which is going to be here. Well, already baseball games at 6, we are out of our area. Okay, so that answer to that one is no, it is outside of our shaded region. Okay. And that's more just reading the graph, y'all, and knowing what it's saying. All right, and we will do more of these tomorrow.